Alrighty everyone, welcome back to another video from the Guff League Challenge series. We've got our third round coming up here, mixing it up a little bit, putting a couple of people on stream here who hadn't been on for the day. Those scores will get updated shortly, but I believe Nathan at this stage was 1-1 and Chloe on the right there was 0-2. Just using a good opportunity to put some people on stream who might not have been on through the day and don't really have a good chance for top cut. So just seeing some of the other decks that were out there. So Nathan on the left is playing Miraidon, and then Chloe on the right will be playing Iron Thorns EX. And so we see from the latest regionals over in Sacramento that Miraidon actually doing quite well, being two of the decks in the finals there. Getting a bit of a buff from the most recent set, mainly in that Pikachu EX, using that stadium to give 8 bench slots, meaning you've got a lot more room to use that tandem unit ability from the Miraidon, put all your support Pokemon in play, and keep drawing through your deck to power up those attackers turn to turn. As well as the inclusion of the new Latias EX, which gives all of your basic Pokemon free retreat. So really useful, especially when that acceleration can only happen to the bench Pokemon. All right, we've got our players starting off here. Chloe on the right will be going first by the looks of it. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like she has an energy to attach at this stage. Yeah, so a bit of a lackluster turn here for Chloe. Not something you really want to see. Trying to go for that turn 2 attack, you really do need that energy attachment down. So a bit unfortunate there, but what she does have going for her is that the Iron Thorns will be stopping all of Nathan's abilities from Rulebox Pokemon. So probably going to slow him down a bit here, but he does have that Arven to start us off, which will definitely help him get going here in this round. See him going for that Nest Ball. Normally would be going to target that Miraidon and get all of your Lightning Pokemon in play, but unfortunately not going to be able to do that in this matchup. So might just be having to take it a little bit slower. Hope to draw into those energies and just attach them to get the attack off. Just doing a bit of a deck check here with Nathan, making sure he's got all the cards that he might need in this matchup. And we do see that Vitality Band coming down. Can be a bit of an important card in this matchup. That Iron Thorns EX does have 230 HP, so the Miraidon only hitting for 220 will need some sort of buff from the Vitality Band or the Zapdos to reach that 230. We do see Nathan here playing the Nest Ball just to get that Miraidon ready and start powering it up so he can start swinging through these Iron Thorns. We do see that Squawkabill in the hand. Unfortunately, Nathan not going to be able to use it in this game, or at least, not this game, but hopefully in the rest of the set, he might be able to get some use out of it. Chloe is actually playing that Miraidon that can power up her other future Pokemon. So possibly starting that will allow Nathan to get some use out of the Squawk ability, but definitely not happening in this game. Does decide to Lost Vacuum it away just to get rid of that tool. And we see Nathan completely play down his hand and not really leaving much else. Don't really like the retreat here. I think you want to keep that on the bench just so you can power it up if you do manage to hit a playable card off the top potentially, and possibly holding onto the stadium as well. You're not really too concerned about any of these cards getting removed from your hand, except maybe with an Iono. So possibly attaching the board, but holding the stadium for later. Possibly bouncing that Lost City to prevent that Zapdos, which is quite important from going into the Lost Zone. We see Chloe just deciding what she's going to do here. Probably will not be playing that Iono, I would imagine. And we do see Chloe with Lost Vacuum of her own, getting rid of that board. So definitely could have held on to that to play around that. Especially since she would have only had 2 cards left in hand. I don't think Chloe would ever be getting rid of that hand with an Iono. So I think you're pretty safe to always hold on to that tool and stadium card. And see Chloe going for a Techno Radar here. We'll be able to get a few more Pokemon out. probably a little bit concerned about getting this knockout from the Miraidon, so just wanting to protect herself against that, valuing those benched basics a bit more than the energy. And we do see here that Miraidon will be coming into hand, which will be able to power up the Iron Thorns on the bench, but also giving Nathan access to his abilities if it were to come into the active spot, which is probably not something you want to be doing as Chloe here. Let's see if it comes down. I probably would like to hold on to that at this stage, which she does. I do quite like to see that. You don't want to put it down as a gust option in case Nathan draws a boss off the top and then he's able to start using his abilities. Chloe, top decking another Lost City, not really something you want to see when you've already got one in play. So we'll just have to discard that with the research. And looks like she might be going for that charge attack with the Miraidon this turn to try and get some more aggressive pressure going. Does draw into a double turbo energy here. So it does attach that to the bench. Playing the Pokegear this turn, I think you'd rather hold these. You don't really want to be burning them since they can be good resources later in the game if you get Iono'd low. And you have already played a supporter this turn, so not really going to be adding too much value to this turn. But it does get an Arven, possibly for next turn just in case. And we see Nathan here really just wanting some energy so he can start swinging on to this Iron Thorns. Being able to take 2 prizes, sort of refill his hand a bit, is definitely something you want to be doing sooner rather than later. And just going to be a pass from Chloe. The top deck from Nathan, didn't quite see what it was. Looks like a Raikou V. So just deciding about whether he wants to bench it. He does not. I think you're probably okay to bench it. You know, it can do some big damage, especially once you get the Area Zero Stadium in play and can power up your bench. So I don't think it's too bad to put down, especially it can be a cheap attacker if this Miraidon does get knocked out, and it's not back in your deck if you were to get Iono or Judged. So I wouldn't mind to see Nathan put that down last turn, but fortunately Chloe just playing the Arven, so that will stick in the hand for Nathan and be able to choose to play it next turn. Now, interesting to see what Chloe gets here. If she gets an Earthen Vessel, she already got the Lightning Energy, so won't be needing that this turn. Does go for the Crushing Hammer. Going to try and slow down these manual attachments from Nathan. Hopefully slow him down a bit to apply a bit more pressure, and she will be getting the attack this turn. Now, one of the upsides, but also sometimes one of the downsides, and we do see Chloe is actually going to change for the Earthen Vessel. So, as I was just about to say, this Iron Thorns having to move an energy from the bench from the active to the bench Pokemon can make it difficult to chain attacks if you don't have those energies. So Chloe is just valuing that energy attachment turn to turn, so we'll be playing this Earthen Vessel. Again, probably would have liked to see Holder. She has already attached an energy this turn, and if you get Iono, you would want to draw into that energy just so you can get the attack next turn. But at the same time, you are thinning the Canceling Clone out of the deck, so maybe it is okay, but still think she probably should have held on to that. But we'll be getting the attack this turn, hitting for 140 damage, I believe, since the tool will be cancelling out the effect of the double turbo. And Chloe just going to move the energy here. I don't think it really matters which energy you move. As Nathan has already burned his Lost Vacuum, you're pretty happy that these tools are going to be sticking around. So whichever energy you might have next turn, you can just move. But I think correctly moving the double turbo energy, because if this gets knocked out, which it will now, it's a lot easier to find that lightning energy. And Nathan's top deck of the energy does mean he's able to do 240 damage because of the Vitality Band and the Zapdos. So, and we see that Iron Thorn's going to the Lost Zone. Now we see Chloe will be able to get the knockout this turn with having that lightning energy from last turn from the Earthen Vessel. And another future booster coming down for Chloe. Definitely not unhappy to see that. And we're seeing Energy Lotto coming through. Probably going to want to try and hit another double turbo. Unfortunately, does whiff. Maybe just showing the camera there. She doesn't really need to show Nathan the cards, but just helping us out on the stream and showing us that there wasn't, in fact, no energy there for her to grab. But Chloe going to even up the prize trade here, take a 2 prize knockout, and remove all of Nathan's energy in play. So definitely not in a bad spot for Chloe here. And taking this knockout, the only way Nathan will be able to use that Pheasantipity is if he is able to get a Gust. onto that Miraidon. And we see Chloe playing the Pokegear here. Yeah, again, probably best just holding on to this, just in case you do get Ionoed or judged off the top from Nathan. Because I believe she has played a support already this turn. And either way, if you hadn't, you wouldn't want to be playing this boss. You definitely just want to be taking down the energy on Nathan's side of the board here. Alrighty, so having a bit of a small hand here, but we'll be getting a couple of cards off the prizes to help. And then again, moving that double turbo energy, definitely correct in case Nathan was able to get the knockout on this active. A lot easier to find that lightning energy compared to the double turbo, as you are only allowed to play 4 of them. Alrighty, Nathan, top decking the boss, so probably one of the best cards you'd be getting here, being able to boss up that Miraidon and on the perfect turn, use this Pheasantipity to draw 3 cards. And just correcting that Miraidon there in the lost zone. Because that, unfortunately, and there we go, is using the Pheasantipity to get 3 cards. Bumping that Lost City. And not much else in the hand for Nathan, I don't think, unfortunately. He will be able to use this tandem unit and get some more Pokemon out of his deck. But I don't think there's much else he's going to want to be using here. Could actually get the Pikachu EX off the Miraidon so he's able to put all of these Pokemon down. You definitely want to get some of those out of the hand and out of the deck. And the concern with the Squawkabilly is obviously you can get one hit KO'd by an Iron Thorns, and you did see Chloe just grab that boss's orders as well. Don't really want to give her an easy 2 prizes. But I think having the Pikachu in play and having that option to put more bench Pokemon down is definitely something you would consider and think about doing. But in this matchup, I think Miraidons and possibly Raikou is definitely your best attackers. The consideration of maybe holding the area 0 would have been something to think about, just so you don't get another bump at the stadium by Chloe. She's already down a Lost Vacuum and 2 Lost Cities, so the chances of a counter stadium is pretty low at this stage. And we do see Chloe top deck the Judge. Given Nathan's hand, probably not going to be playing it this turn, I would imagine. But she does look like she needs to find a way to get out of this active and attack this turn, so might not have a choice but to play a supporter to get some cards here. Unfortunately, we did just update the scores, but the timer has reset. But about 35 minutes left in the round here. So plenty of time. Chloe just deciding about what she's going to do. Does actually go for the attach and retreat, valuing this ability lock more than getting the attack. I don't think there's too many of Nathan's abilities that you're worried about, especially since you did use the tandem unit last turn and didn't grab any Pokemon. So I think you could have been happy maybe just going for the attack on the bench and pass. But just valuing that ability lock, not wanting Nathan to use anything like Gladius EX to get that free retreat if he were to hit an electric generator. And we do see Chloe get the double turbo energy, so we'll be able to get the attack this turn. And let's see if she goes for the boss's orders. I would like to see it on the Miraidon, just get that early aggression onto it, and since it will be in the active spot, won't be able to use electric generator on it. Does actually go for the Zapdos, also a good play, limiting Nathan's options to get the 1-hit KO with the Miraidon onto the Iron Thorns. I would be expecting Nathan to play 2 Zapdoses. We have seen a rise in the popularity of Raging Bolt, and having the 2 Zapdos in that deck is very good. But I do believe Nathan is actually only playing 1, so Chloe not able to pair it with Lost City, unfortunately, which definitely would have been the best play. But still not having it in play for this turn can be useful. Hopefully Nathan isn't able to find any Pokemon recovery to get that back. Chloe top taking the Crushing Hammer, not going to be too useful in this instance, since Nathan doesn't have any energy in play. But you're not too unhappy to see Nathan with no energy, so I don't think she minds having that too much. Just deciding on what she's going to do. So thinking about that judge, which is I would have liked to see Nathan put a couple more basic Pokemon down, especially that Mew. That Mew having free retreat and still able to withstand a hit from an Iron Thorns. Alrighty, we do see just the attack onto the Pheasantipity here. I don't think Nathan top decked much help there, just the Nest Ball. So looking like he might be in a little bit of trouble here for Nathan. And this matchup is very reminiscent of the World's semi-finals match just this past season, where Iron Thorns just locking down the abilities from Miraidon, really not letting it do much. We do have the Bravery Charm attached. I don't think it matters too much with the math, but just probably hoping to get it out of the hand and out of the deck. We do see, I believe, a Professor's Research there for Chloe, so having that option for some more draw power now will be good. Just thinking whether she attaches this energy. I don't think you really need it at this stage. Could just go for a retreat and attack and move it back onto the other Iron Thorn, so you're able to consistently keeping these two powered up. And just see if she goes for the research or not. You definitely don't want to play the judge. Nathan hasn't really done too much for a couple of turns now, so I don't think he has much going on in his hand. And just taking the taking the Pheasantipity out with the Iron Thorns means that Nathan would need a boss and a Pokemon recovery in order to get some draw off this. So pretty unlikely. And we see in Nathan's hand he doesn't actually have that at the moment. So just a lot of Pokemon. Does top deck the Lumineon. Shows his hand, shows that he doesn't have much going on. And I think that is going to be a scoop from Nathan. And Chloe will be taking our game one here in pretty convincing fashion. Nathan really not able to do a whole lot. He did get a few manual attachments early and get a knockout with the Miraidon, but after that Miraidon was knocked out, Chloe just ran away with the game, really. And I guess it just shows you the strength of the Iron Thorns. There are a lot of rule box Pokemon out in the game at the moment with lots of abilities, and it makes it tough to go up against it without some sort of answer. One of the best decks in the format right now, Regidrago, does have a good answer in that cancelling Cologne. And being able to get that back with the V-Star ability after you've used it as well can be really good into this deck, which I think is probably Iron Thorn's most difficult matchup. But I think as Chloe, you don't mind seeing Miraidon. Probably feels pretty good going into that matchup. And I think her other two matchups for the day have been one Regidrago, which definitely seems like an unfavorable matchup, and also one Archaludon EX. So interesting deck there. Does have a lot of HP and can be hard to get through when you're three-shotting it. Definitely needing some of those crushing hammers for that matchup, but unfortunately wasn't able to come through. Now we see Nathan starting off with a few basic Pokemon. He does know what he's up against, so he knows which Pokemon he's going to need in this matchup, but still would like to wait and see which opener Chloe had, in case it wasn't the Iron Thorns deciding what he might need. Alrighty, so we do see the Zapdos, the Miraidon, and the Mew in the active. Definitely a good Pokemon to have in the active. Having its free retreat means you can use the generator onto the bench. Alrighty, so now Chloe using a Pokegear. Looks like she might be going first, actually, as Nathan didn't do anything on his turn, so Chloe not able to use this supporter turn one, and if she doesn't have any basic Pokemon in dimension, Nathan will quite easily be able to get this knockout. Having Electric Generator and Arven, and needing 3 energy to get the knockout. Unfortunately, that double turbo in hand will not be able to be attached to get the knockout. And yeah, Chloe not really having anything else going on in the hand. We'll just have to pass over to Nathan, I believe. And let's see if Nathan can get in with the donk. So, starting with the Arven, I think you definitely want to be thinning out the deck of these non-energy cards so you have a higher chance of hitting off the Electric Generator. Let's see what tool he gets. So it does get the generator. And probably the vitality band, although I could see the forest sealstone as well, just in case he is able to get that Raikou V down. I believe he still would be able to use that even under the Iron Thorns lock, as it is not an ability that Raikou has, but one that it can use. Starting off with the first generator and not hitting any energy does mean that Nathan will not be able to get the knockout this turn, unfortunately. So Chloe will have another turn to set up and hopefully stay in this game here. Nathan still does have the chance to hit for some damage. We do see 1 and 2 energy there. So a bit unlucky you couldn't have that off the first electric generator as well. So unfortunately with the double turbo and even with the vitality band would only be hitting 220 damage, which would not be enough to knock out the Iron Thorns. But I think with the switch card in hand, you still want to go for the attack. And you can always retreat off the double turbo energy later to open up that one-hit KO potential again. And I think you just sort of want to be putting the pressure on in this matchup here against Chloe. So I think I would like to see Nathan attach this double turbo and start swinging. All right, we see the Bravery Charm on the Zapdos here. I think that's definitely where it matters the most. So I'd like to see that come down. Chloe does have Lost Vacuum potential as well, but I think it's pretty unlikely she has that or even uses it this early on. Chloe looks like she's just eyeing up an Arven. Possibly going for that Colts just to guarantee the attack. And yeah, it looks like Chloe does prioritize that. Again, would have liked to see the attack last turn, because now you are just hoping for a top deck of an energy in order to attack. Otherwise, you're in the same position you could have been last turn, but now you're just a turn behind. So see, Chloe will be getting the attack this turn. Fortunately, hopefully not taking out that Zapdos this turn. We'll need a tool and some sort of Pokemon catcher, so probably won't be happening this turn. We do see the Pokemon catcher though. Would need the tool still. I believe Zapdos has 110, so putting it up to 160. We'll be going for the Pokemon catcher anyway. I think getting the early hit on this Miraidon will be very good. Looks like we'll be going for the Zapdos here. I still think I would have liked to see the early hit on the Miraidon. Nathan doesn't have any generators or any lightning energy in hand at the moment. So just taking out this energy and getting some 2 prize knockouts. I guess Chloe just concerned that Nathan being able to get the 1-hit KO is how she loses this game. But another reason why I would have liked to see Nathan touch the double turbo energy last turn and attack, meaning he wouldn't need to use the vitality band for that first one, as he would have already damaged it. Fortunately, we do see that I believe Nathan has the switch card in hand from a last turn. Did look like he top decked another double turbo energy, so not really the lightning energy that you wanted. We'll just go for the attach retreat. Still holding out for that basic lightning energy so we can get the knockout. And preserving that switch cart. Probably to reset after Miraidon's attack, which I don't hate, since the switch cart math won't change anything with the Zapdos. Chloe top decking a Judge. Probably doesn't want to be playing that. We'll just be going for an Arven to hopefully get that tool and possibly an Urban Vessel just to guarantee that attack this turn with the lightning energy. Or possibly even a Techno Radar just to get more basics, but does go for the Vessel, so she'll be able to attack this turn, which I think you definitely want to keep putting on the pressure. We'll be discarding the Judge. No, she's not going to be using that. Nathan is not drawing many cards at all. So wants to... Oh. Nathan almost shuffling his hand into his deck from the Judge. That would have been disastrous for Nathan and would have instantly spelled a loss in this round. So fortunately, double checking with his opponent, so that did not happen. And Chloe just probably going to attach here and attack. Probably moving the double turbo energy to the bench, I would imagine. You do already have the booster capsule, so you do have the free retreat to attack with the other one next turn. And let's see. Does actually go for the lightning energy. Interesting choice. Alrighty, does top deck his third generator. Does hit one energy, which, is really all he needs. But if he did hit two, I think he would have attached both just to play around a crushing hammer from Chloe. And we do see Nathan putting Chloe a bit on the clock here. Chloe not being able to get that hit in on the Miraidon means this Miraidon will most likely take 2 prize cards. So again, I probably would have liked to see Chloe move the double turbo energy. I don't think the extra 20 damage matters anywhere at this stage. So now instead of getting an extra attachment on, we'll have to attach to the active to get the attack off. Alrighty, so we'll attach to the active to make sure she gets the attack. I'm probably going to Arvin for a radar just to get some more basics down, and probably the future tool as well. Yep, getting that radar, just get a few more basics down, just because if this one goes down, you don't want the game to be over. Alrighty, let's see what she chooses to discard. Probably the Miraidon, I would imagine. Oh, Nathan just remembering to take his prizes. Looks like he got the board and another energy, so you don't hate to see those. Unfortunately, it doesn't have any good targets for it at this stage, but could be useful down the line. Chloe just getting some more basics so she can keep this pressure on. Nathan really just looking for another basic Pokemon to start attaching to. I think that would put him in a really good spot to win this game, and probably not too much Chloe can do other than hitting a lot of crushing hammerheads. Alrighty, fortunately for Chloe, not too many decisions left in this turn. You're probably going to bench one or probably both at this stage. So once Nathan does take 2 more prize cards, you can pivot between them. And we'll obviously be moving that lightning energy. I don't think you're too concerned about not benching the other one, since if Nathan were to boss, he would probably be bossing one without energy, or with energy to be taking a knockout. See, the Pikachu come down, not going to be a great target to be attacking, since he will not have any grass or metal energy in his deck. More just for that stadium use. And that switch card from turn 1, Nathan been holding on to, cleverly using that double turbo to retreat Zapdos, as he knows how important it is in this matchup. Now able to use the switch card to reset Miraidon's attack and take another knockout, and forcing Chloe to find this double turbo energy in order to get the knockout. Fortunately, if she does, it will put Nathan in a bit of a tricky spot, since he doesn't have another Pokemon powered up, and he has used 3 of his electric generators. So Chloe just needing a double turbo to put her in a reasonably good spot here. Does bench the other one now. And going for the research. Realizing she needs this attack this turn, otherwise she's in a pretty poor spot. Does not hit the double turbo energy. Again, coming back to one of these plays where she didn't move the double turbo energy off the active, and as a result lost access to that. Sort of coming back to bite Chloe a bit here. Now going to be missing this attack. Hoping that with enough crushing hammerhead she can reset some energy attachments from Nathan. Yeah. As he did use Miraidon's attack last turn, he will not be able to use it this turn, so hopefully that will buy Chloe a turn. But obviously Nathan only needing a prime catcher and an energy attachment to win the game. It's looking a bit dicey here for Chloe. Definitely probably does need to attach the energy. She's probably just thinking where to attach it. I think you always attach it to the active. If one of these gets knocked out, then you will be losing the game anyway. So just want to give yourself the best chance to attack next turn if Nathan does miss it. Want to hold that catcher. If you do, you're just making it easier for Nathan to attack next turn with a retreat. All right, he does get a nest ball. Probably we'll be looking at getting another Miraidon down, potentially. Possibly we'll just attach and retreat this Miraidon, sacrificing the Mew. That will require Chloe to have a Gust and an Energy in order to take down this Miraidon. I think possibly attaching the double turbo to retreat the Miraidon into the Mew and hoping that Chloe doesn't have the Gust Energy. We'll be getting the Iron Bundle. Interesting, could use the Iron Bundle this turn to hopefully set Chloe back a turn so she's not able to attack as easily. Would need a switch or a tool. Yeah, so cleverly using that Iron Bundle to make it even harder for Chloe to attack this next turn. Hopefully putting him in a good enough position. He's just going to attach the Lightning Energy. I don't mind this. We'll have to attach the Escape Board, I'd imagine. It's just going to pass, so I believe an Arven here for Chloe would spell disaster for Nathan. I probably would have liked to see at least an Escape Board, retreat into the Mew. Chloe does have a Pokemon and catch it in hand, so would still be able to use that, but just make it that little bit harder for Chloe to be getting this. Is going to go for the Pokemon catcher anyway. I really don't like this from Chloe. You do know that Nathan has that Vitality Band all the way back from turn 1 where he used the Arven to get it. So knocking out this Zapdos doesn't actually make it any harder for Nathan to get the knockout. We'll be going Iono to 2, so we'll be putting that Vitality Band back into the deck. Oh my gosh, Nathan just about to shuffle his hand into his deck. That could have been a disaster as well. Alrighty, so Chloe just needing some cards to attack here. Does have a Lost Vacuum, and I believe that would knock out the Zapdos, as she did hit it for 140, I believe. I believe that Pokemon should go to the Lost Zone. I think Lost City is any time a Pokemon is knocked out, not just from attacks, so... getting rid of the Crushing Hammer. Don't know if I like that. Probably want to try and slow this Miraidon down, because if Nathan does have Arven, he does just win the game. And you want to give yourself the best opportunity to get rid of those energy. As his first one was a Tails, so it would have been nice to have a second option there. Did obviously get that Enhanced Hammer off the prices, so wasn't able to Lost Vacuum that away, but possibly even the Arven. Although you would like that for next turn to grab the tool card, so a few tough choices there for Chloe. And we do see Nathan actually top deck the Arven. So it did have the knockout, but I think a bit preemptively went for the attack, but Chloe, nicely enough, letting him take that back and use the Arven to get the tool to attach and take the knockout for the final prizes. Nathan just a little bit trigger happy there towards the end, so definitely would like him to take a bit of a second to think through first. You know, not all your opponents are going to let you take back plays like that, so fortunately Chloe being a good sport about it and letting him take it back. But definitely could have cost him the game there. If he did just attack for 220, then Chloe being able to retreat and knock out the Miraidon would have spelled disaster for Nathan. Alrighty, so we are going to a game 3 here. I believe there's about 15 minutes left in the round, so a bit of a long one here, because Iron Thorns can have games like that when you're shutting down all of your opponent's rulebox abilities. So excited we have a game 3 here, going down to the wire. So even though Iron Thorns does stop down these abilities for Miraidon, it is not a free matchup by any means. There are certainly things Miraidon can do, and if they get powered up, they can run away with it sometimes. Alrighty, let's see what we have in store here. Nathan opening that Mew again. Definitely your best starter. Not able to use the ability, but can use the free retreat from it, which is definitely what you want it for. I think Nathan just having a bit of a thing, but you always want to start that Mew so you can use that free retreat. Alrighty, we'll see who's going first in this one. Chloe did lose that one, will be opting to go first, and unlike game one, does have the energy attachment top deck. A great top deck, otherwise not really looking like she was doing too much that turn. Getting a Techno Radar, so no opportunity for Nathan to win next turn. And Chloe does start setting herself up very nicely. Not sure about getting the Miraidon. I think Iron Thorns, you just want to be playing the 4 Iron Thorns, not giving your opponent the opportunity to gust. And let's see if she benches it. I don't think I'd like her to see it. Maybe going second, but I think you'd much rather just Turbo Energize as Iron Thorns rather than use Miraidon. Looked like he top decked that Miraidon, I believe. So excellent top deck there for Nathan. Now he is able to use that Arven to get an electric generator. And similar to last game, we do have the decision of whether you attach this double turbo if you manage to hit 2 energy off the generator. Again, I think putting that pressure on early rather than just sitting back and waiting, especially when Chloe has access to things like Pokemon Catcher, which make it even easier for her to access Nathan's bench Pokemon. I think getting this early aggression is where you want to be. Nathan doing a bit of a check on his prizes, doing his first search, grabbing that Bravery Charm. I wonder if this indicates that Nathan might have prized his Vitality Band. Oh, turns out he didn't look at his other half of the deck, so maybe it is in there instead, but I don't see it. So, oh, nope, there it is. He did have his Vitality Band, so whether it was in that other half of the deck or he just doesn't think he needs it this early on, I think using the Bravery Charm to protect the Zapdos is good. You don't want that going down in one hit, as it is really important for getting these one-hit knockouts. So going for the generator. Let's see if he hits he does hit the 2 energy. So let's see if he does the same decision as last game to not attack. It'll be interesting to see. Nathan did win that game where he didn't attack with the double turbo. So maybe he might have a bit of confirmation bias here. Nathan stuck with this decision again. I think without any plays next turn, otherwise you sort of just have to go down the aggressive route and start swinging. If you draw another dead card next turn, you are not looking in a good spot. And we see the Arven come down from Chloe. Probably going to be looking for an Energy Lotto to try and hit that double turbo. Let's see if she goes for that. We'll be getting the booster as well, and there comes that Energy Lotto. Would have been interesting to see Chloe maybe grab that Turbo Energize just in case you miss off the Energy Lotto. Then at least you have a backup option of getting some more energy into play. And interestingly enough, Nathan didn't actually attach that Bravery Charm. So if Chloe does hit off this Energy Lotto, I believe she does have Pokemon Catcher and did top deck a Lost City. So she could actually get the knockout on the Zapdos, which would put her in a really good spot. Alrighty, let's see what she puts down. Does put down the Miraidon here. Interesting to put the Miraidon down before the Energy Lotto. I think you're always playing this Lotto first. You can put this Miraidon down at any time during your turn. So I think you want as much information as you can before you make this decision. So probably should have held on to that Miraidon for at least a little bit. And we do see her hit the double turbo. So very fortunate hitting that one off the Energy Lotto. So she will be getting the attack this turn. And I think by benching this Miraidon, you're just in a worse position now because you give Nathan access to boss's orders and start using some draw. And we do see the Crushing Hammer come down. And now Nathan will not be attacking this turn unless he hits a generator. Another reason why I would have liked to see that double turbo energy come down. And this is an excellent start for Chloe. This is exactly where you want to be as Miraidon, as Iron Thorns against Miraidon. We do see Chloe have the Scoop Up Cyclone as her ace spec. Very good card, especially since next turn, if she doesn't hit an energy, she won't be able to attack. And having that Scoop Up Cyclone will actually enable her to get all those cards back and reattach the energy to attack. Top deck looked like an Ultra Ball for Nathan there. Doesn't really have too much else going on. Switch card, Bravery Charm, a couple of basic Pokemon with abilities that he can't use. So unfortunately, gonna be a bit of a slow one here for Nathan. He's not looking in a good spot at all. I think you're always playing this Ultra Ball, just thin out the deck, get some more cards out, and hopefully improve your top decks. That's all you got to hope for at this stage. The other option is obviously holding the Ultra Ball in case you get knocked out and draw into a boss. Then you can use the Ultra Ball to grab Pheasantipity and start drawing more cards. But even then, you can play the Ultra Ball now and get it proactively. Ursaluna not really doing too much in this matchup. Having to attack for 5 energy because of the Iron Thorns ability. Does decide to bench it, and we'll just use it to take a hit. Hopefully just buy him a few more turns, realizing the utility of that Mew. Quite like this play. Buying a couple more turns. You will still probably give up 2 prizes, but at least you keep that free retreat at Mew. And the possibility of getting boss and restarting cards is always there as well. Alright, Chloe not drawing too much of anything, so we'll have to use the Scoop Up Cyclone in order to get the attack. That's okay, she does have the boss's orders, so it'd be interesting to see what she targets down. I imagine you're probably going to have to target the Mew. I think you need those cards. You don't have anything in your hand, so you probably won't be getting the attack next turn unless you draw some more cards. Chloe not benching the... Interesting. Chloe not benching the other Iron Thorns here. So Nathan will have the opportunity to use Iron Bundle to get access to his abilities again. Unfortunately, he does not have many good abilities to use. I think the only options really is to get the Iron Bundle, use it, and possibly use Tandem Unit to get a Raikou to start drawing some cards off Fleetfoot. But unfortunately, that option is still there with the switch card, but you're going to have to waste a switch card, not able to use that Latias ability. Yeah, I wouldn't have minded to see that play. Just drawing a few more cards. I think in this matchup, you got to be drawing cards. Just making sure that Mew's going to the Lost Zone. Nathan does play some recovery, so important that he doesn't have access to that Mew again. Don't actually see any Pokemon recovery there in Nathan's deck, actually. So either prized or maybe doesn't play anything. He is looking for that Iron Bundle and has realized it is prized, so unfortunately won't have access to that. So Chloe, fortunately, not punished for not benching this other Iron Thorns. I guess you just want to play around the potential of a Gust stall play on it. So I think I would like to start seeing this energy come down. Okay, not a terrible draw for Chloe. Does get that chorus. So he's able to thin the deck of a couple more cards. Does already have the lightning energy and the other Iron Thorns in hand, so we'll be getting an attack this turn. And it looks like Chloe's sealing up this game pretty quickly. Going to be really difficult for Nathan to come back into this game now, I think. But you always got to stick it out. You never know when your opponent will just not draw anything for the rest of the game. So that's always an option to hang around for. Looks like Chloe just grabbing the one basic energy off the Colress. Either not having access to Lost City or not thinking she wants it at this stage. Still probably hoping to target down that Zapdos and Lost City at some stage. All right, let's see if she decides to bench it. Nathan did reveal to her that he has prized the Iron Bundle, so not really too scared about that guy anymore. So not really any need to bring this Iron Thorns into play. Other than the fact that you can start accelerating energy to it, which I think I would prefer rather than having it on this Miraidon. Miraidon not really having too much of a use for these lightning energy on the bench. Unlike the Miraidon on Nathan's side, which would love these two lightning energies at this moment. Instead, just stuck with this one lightning energy, which won't be doing too much for him at this stage. And still not drawing a whole lot of anything. Interesting, he's debating the switch card. Will be interesting to see what he switches into. I think you probably need to hold this just in case you get a generator off the top. But if you do get the generator, you always have the chance of hitting 2 energy and using that double turbo to retreat. So maybe hoping for that. Nathan just going to pass back over to Chloe. And Chloe going to get an attack this turn. Probably won't be knocking anything out. But as we've seen last game, having access to that Lost Vacuum means that she can get this knockout of this Zapdos at any time, now that Nathan has used his switch card. So we'll just be attaching. Would like to see that Iron Thorns come down now. Probably a little late now as Chloe's run out of energy after she moves this one off the active. And Iron Thorn's still not looking like it's going to come down. Just going for the attack for 140, moving that lightning onto the bench. Nathan top decking another lightning Pokemon, but no energy really in hand to use them. So it looks like it's going to be another slow turn for Nathan. Not what you want to be seeing against this sort of control deck. Does have that energy come down. Will retreat into the Miraidon. Interesting choice. Unfortunately, using this double turbo does mean that even with an electric generator next turn, probably won't be attacking. Definitely won't be attacking with that Miraidon in the active. The silver lining here for Nathan is that Chloe will need an energy to attack. We do see the top deck of the Arven, so very nice top deck here for Chloe, and hopefully still has access to an earthen vessel in which she can use to get the attack off this turn. But again, coming back to those last few turns, where Chloe could have had this Iron Thorns in play, powering that up. Instead chose to power up this Miraidon, who probably won't be doing too much of anything with only these lightning energy on it. Does need that psychic energy, I believe, to be doing much of anything. Does have an earthen vessel left, so we'll be able to get some energy and continue to stream these attackers. Pretty easy choice in the cancelling clone there to discard, and getting a hit in on this Miraidon means it's basically going to be over for Nathan. Again, just showing the power of this Iron Thorns EX deck into such a heavy rulebox meta. I guess that's why it won the World Championships this last season. Very strong deck. Not too many options, but you don't need many options when your opponent can't do much. You can just sit there and swing through all their attackers while they just pass. Nathan slowly having damage racked up on all of his Pokemon. I think the window for Nathan to win is slowly closing on him. Interesting, Chloe will be retreating. Finally benches that Iron Thorns and attaching. Looks like she's probably going to be using the attack from the Miraidon to power up. So using that peak acceleration, 50 damage, going to power up those Pokemon on the bench. And Nathan top decking the boss just as Chloe puts the Miraidon in the active, meaning he doesn't even need to boss to get access to his abilities. But unfortunately, not many abilities you want to be using at this stage. So yeah, I definitely would have liked to see Chloe maybe just attack with the active Iron Thorns last turn. We see Nathan bringing out the tandem unit. Maybe grabbing that Pikachu, but otherwise not too many Pokemon he wants to grab at this stage. And yeah, we do see that Miraidon does need that 2 Lightning and Psychic to attack, so Chloe not paying any Psychic energy, meaning this Miraidon is just for peak acceleration. So again, those 2 extra Lightning energies will be useless. But fortunately for Chloe, I don't think it's going to stop her at this stage. She seems to be powering through to the finish line. Still does have 4 prize cards to take, but with damage spread all over Nathan's field, I don't think she'll have any problems doing that. Alright, looks like Nathan will be turn 0. So that Miraidon with 50 damage on it, I don't think can be knocked out in one hit by any of Chloe's Pokemon. So this peak acceleration actually will probably cost Chloe the round, as it will likely end in a tie now. I don't think Nathan will be able to take his 6 prizes in 2 turns. And Chloe also going to struggle to take her 4 prizes in the next 2 turns. So looks like it's going to be a tie here for these 2 players. Unfortunately, Chloe, I think, just missing an opportunity here with attacking with these Iron Thorns. Probably could have finished up the game much quicker instead of taking a turn off to peak accelerate. So Chloe just going to be 1 turn short on winning this game, but I think these games definitely showed the strength of Iron Thorns, completely shutting down your opponent's deck. And basically not letting them do much of anything, as we saw in this and the first game of this round. I think the player's just discussing now what the path forward is. And I think Nathan even promoting the Pikachu next turn after a retreat. And even probably last turn, knowing that he was turn 0, knowing he's not able to win the game, would have liked to see him retreat into the Pikachu, as that Pokemon definitely can't get 1 hit carry because of its ability. No sneaky shenanigans in Chloe's deck like Dusknoir or Dusclops or Poison that can get through Pikachu's ability, but does have the cancelling clone, so if she was able to do enough damage, would be able to 1 hit KO it, but Iron Thorn's capping out at about 160, means she won't be able to get enough damage. The players just playing through the turns at the moment. I think the outcome is already decided. So cut for this tournament will likely be 2-1-1, 4 rounds with 9 players, a 2-on-1 bubble. So Nathan getting the tie here does mean he still has a chance of making top cut if he wins the next round and has good enough resistance. But Chloe, unfortunately, even prior to this round, was out of the tournament. So Nathan probably very happy to see a tie here, as with a loss, he would have been knocked out of the tournament. I know both these players are just here to have fun, but making top cut's always a nice little bonus. We see Nathan draw his card, and it is an Under Depths, Area 0. Able to bench a few Pokemon, but won't be doing much else at this stage. And Nathan, knowing Chloe only has 1 more turn, can just pass. And it will end in a tie. Boss up a free retreater for good measure. Why not? You'll take your tie and go on, hopefully win the next round and make it to the top cut. So with that, it is going to be the end of round 3 at the Guth Geelong League Cup. Thanks very much for joining for another video. Hope you enjoy it. Bit of a slower game. having some different players on stream is always good to show some of the other local community. I appreciate you guys for sticking around. If you enjoy the content, please leave some comments. If there's any plays you would have done differently or any interesting plays that you think I missed, leave it down in the comments. I'll always be checking those. And if you enjoy the content, please subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next video for the 4th and final round before the top cut. We'll see you all in the next video. Bye.